whether or not Sean Combs should make bail, whether or not he should be released, whether or not, and we have a live shot of the courthouse, whether or not we will see him walk out of that courthouse later today. Right now, both sides are submitting paperwork to the court. We're keeping a very careful eye on the courtroom updates to see what that decision will be, because the judge is going to decide. And what the basis was for Sean Combs to be locked up during the whole course of this criminal process, it is very different now. It is very different now because he's not facing those top charges, those violent charges, those charges that could have sent him to prison for the rest of his life. And one of the other big considerations we have when we talk about transportation to engage in prostitution, the charges that he was convicted of, is what will be his sentence. While there are maximums of 10 years in prison on each charge, and although the prosecution has said that he could face up to 20 years if they stack them one after the other, it seems highly unlikely given a number of mitigating factors in this case, but there's also aggravating factors, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But we're going to take your questions as we are live on air, and we update you about what is happening. But I also have with us a very special series of guests. So we have an all-star panel. We got with us Ben Shue, acclaimed litigator, famously represented Johnny Depp in his high-profile trial against Amber Heard. We also have with us criminal defense attorney and civil rights attorney Tyler Bailey. We have with us Sierra Gillespie and Elizabeth Milner out in the field. We'll get to them. But right now, we are also joined by Sheree Hayes. Now, for anybody who's been following this case, you will know who Mr. Hayes is, also referred to as the Punisher during the course of this case. Mr. Hayes, who's also, by the way, the author of In Search of Freezer Meat, we can talk more about that. Hayes had testified during the course of this trial about his involvement in 8 to 12 sexual encounters that he had with Cassie Ventura Fine and Sean Combs. Testified that Combs watched and gave directions during these events. You played a pivotal role in this case, Mr. Hayes. It's great to see you. Thanks for taking the time. Your reaction to the verdict?
I honestly thought the verdict was the correct decision. It maybe not based on following the specifics of the law, because I know the prosecutor said you only had to find one instance where you believe there's coercion. But if you're talking about a jury and the understanding that this was relationships, these were his partners, these were, they were exchanged text messages of love and care and over long periods of time. And then also a bunch of consenting also messages to the sexual activity and the type of lifestyle they lived. I thought it was going to be hard for a typical person that wasn't going to really streamline the law, extremely hypervigilant, to not see this as a relationship domestic issue opposed to sex trafficking. So this is actually what I expected.
To be clear, in any of your encounters, did you see any force, fraud, coercion being used to induce Cassie to engage in these sex acts?
Yeah, it's similar to my testimony. I did not. And so what I will even add is, I testified in the facts where I only interacted and spoke to Cassie during any of these occasions. I never had any communication with Mr. Combs. So I would be greeted in a personable one-on-one situation prior to the activities, and then again at the conclusion. And I always found good vibes, good energies. Hey, thanks for coming. It was great. We'll see you again. Here you go. And I did not even witness anything that appeared to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs or anything. So I did find it difficult to see my interaction being anything close to criminal.
I want to tell you what's happening outside the courthouse. CNN is reporting that people are quite excited. There are people who are gathered. They are spraying baby oil into the crowd. There are remnants of oil that could be seen on the courthouse pavement. We were reporting earlier on today that there was a verbal dispute between supporters of Sean Combs, or at least supporters of his case, and those who feel differently. When you're seeing a reaction like that outside of the courthouse, you playing a role in this case, what's your position on it? What is your view on it?
So what I think is there's a benefit of the misinformation. Me as a civilian, even before I was involved, before I became a witness, the social understanding of this case, they made it so much bigger than what it was. You had rumors of child trafficking. You had all of this bribery and celebrities involved, and all of this crazy stuff that escalated to this belief that you was going to get this magnitude of just terrible acts, and not downplaying the domestic violence part of it. But I think when the actual facts of this case became evident, I think people's expectation and their belief that it was going to be so much more, it actually minimized the victims' experiences. So now, where there are still people that are victimized, regardless of the verdict, there's still bad experiences. People almost see it as a celebratory, simple scenario, because everybody thought it was going to be so much worse than what it was, including myself,
Do you think
listening to the banter.
Do you think that your testimony helped secure the conviction for transportation to engage in prostitution? Because let's be clear, the two charges that he was convicted of, one was with respect to Cassie, and the other was with respect to Jane. Do you think your testimony helped secure the conviction against Sean Combs?
No, not at all. Not my testimony, because I was clear that my dealings with them was, I'm from New York City at the time, and I only dealt with them in a New York City area. And me being hired, and the initial communications was as a male dancer, we always show up on our own. But I did hear in the testimony there was evidence of plane tickets and stuff being purchased on his American Express card for some of the other escorts. So I'm assuming that secured the conviction for those charges.
So as I mentioned to you before we were coming on, we have amazing viewers who submit incredible questions. And I have a bunch of them that a lot of people have questions for you, Mr. Hayes. So let's get right into it. All right. First question. We got a question from Jackie Reed. Did you have any direct dealings with Christina Coram or any other person other than Diddy that helped set up his freak offs?
Actually, no. And actually, I didn't have any direct dealings with Diddy. All of my communications were specifically with Miss Ventura and Miss Ventura only. There was no conversation, no communication, no anything with Mr. Combs. And I said this before. The first time I actually even had eye contact him, for the first time, eye contact was leaving the stand after my testimony. I had zero interactions with Mr. Combs.
And by the way, I'm just going to let you know, I'm not like tweaking these questions. These are the ones that are coming in. So I'm just going to read them to you. This is from an account, Smarty Pants. Thank you so much for the super chat question. Do you think Diddy was cheap with you?
Well, listen, if I'm being honest, when I hear some of the other guys getting $5,000, $6,000, obviously that would be the first thing you think. But then I don't know the scenario. I was never there more than 4 hours at a time on the average. And one thing that I will say is I came multiple days in a row. So I don't know what the criteria was to determine what my fee would be, but I was fine with it. I don't have any reservations as if I was not fairly compensated,
We've got a question. Where is this? Okay. Show and Tell Knitting asks, how will the results of this trial affect your interactions with clients like Diddy? Will you do anything differently in the future?
As far as I'm concerned, I would not do anything differently. That was a nuanced situation for me. Obviously, I'm a male dancer. My trade on a regular basis is not sex work to that degree. That was a proposition I indulged in. So I don't really see much changing. This was a very nuanced situation. I don't think anybody predicted these scenarios escalating to what it actually became. So I don't have any full regrets of my interactions, or if I'm being honest, even my decision. It was something I was a part of. It were some of our decisions, and I'm comfortable with the way everything transpired, even the negatives.
Chris Bono asks, how has this experience changed you, if at all?
Well, it put me in a scenario where I have to do damage control, right? We live in a society where you meet a person, everybody Googles you, right? So I know for the rest of my life, I'm associated with this crime and or trial, I should say, with this trial and these accusations, and I'm instrumental in it too. So all I'm doing now is I have to have a much conscious effort and how I'm perceived in my interactions with people going forward, because I could start out in a lot of situations in a negative opposed to what normal people do.
And I appreciate you coming on and speaking to media outlets about this, because obviously the trial wasn't testified. There was reporting. It wasn't televised, excuse me, but it wasn't. There was reporting about what the testimony was like. People might have misconceptions about what you said, why you testified. So to be able to clear the air is really important, which is why we get a question from Brooklyn Truth. What was your motivation for testifying? So to be clear, I mean, did you want to testify? Did you reach out to the government? How did that work exactly?
So I did not want to testify.
Yeah.
The government contacted me even way before the charges, just investigators. And I actually believed that my testimony was going to be insignificant. I explained to them I didn't see any violence. I didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary. And then I was aware I was a resident of New York. We met up in New York, so it didn't really, in my opinion, or my understanding, constitute sex trafficking. So the thing that put me in this situation, and this never happened, I didn't get any issues from the prosecution or the federal government. But if you talk to people who supposed to be in the know, they scare you about the Southern District. They give you this thing where, look, you want to cooperate, just do whatever you got to do. You don't want to get on their bad side. So I went into the scenario like, look, I'm just going to cooperate to the best of my ability, because I don't want to create a scenario where I'm looked at as an issue and then it escalates to something. It probably wouldn't have, but I just kept getting negative feedback that the Southern District is people you don't want to mess around with. And if they want to talk to you, if they want facts, if they want information, you have to give it to them. And that escalated to me on the stand, where I never second guessed even, cooperating, because I did have worry that resistance could have been an issue for me.
Got maybe the most important question of the day from Xenu Golf Club. Did you like your courtroom sketches?
So I'm still getting problems from my buddies about how terrible those sketches are. So I did not like the courtroom sketches, man.
Well, Combs didn't like him either. He thought he looked like a koala. So
yeah. They have me. They're calling me like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Fantastic Four, but I'm Ben Grimm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, a lot of jokes, a lot of unnecessary jokes I'm subjected to because of those photos.
Got a question coming in from, wait, I just lost it. Where was it? Wait. I think no. Oh yeah. Chris Buono asks, if you weren't an escort worker, in what line of business could you see yourself?
Ironically, I have a passion for car sales. I could see myself being in a decent dealership, maybe a Mercedes, BMW dealership. I like the interaction with people. That would have been somewhere I would have went into as a secondary option.
Let me ask you a question. When you were testifying, this is my question. When you were testifying, what was it like to be in the room with Sean Combs, to see him? Did you make eye contact with him? Was he looking at you? Did it feel awkward? Was it strange?
Listen, man, it was the actual extreme of all of those feelings. I think the federal court is set up to intimidate you. The magnitude of the rooms, like the doors are 15 feet high, the ceiling's 30 feet high. The furniture is huge. You're sitting up high. The judge is high. It's freezing in the room. I walked in and I had literally an anxiety attack. And I consider myself a very calm, cool, collected guy, not easily rattled at all. And by the time I got on the witness stand, I was trembling. And so then to put on top of the understanding that I'm walking in there as the prosecution's witness, so I'm going to assume there's not a favorable thought process with Mr. Combs, his family, anybody involved. So it was very nerve-wracking, man. And I only benefited because I got called to the stand 10 minutes before lunch. And literally just swearing in and answering my name and very preliminary questions, I was losing my voice. I was having trouble talking. And so I'm happy that it broke for lunch. And it took me 20 of the 30-minute lunch to recompose myself. Or I might have had a very different testimony if I didn't have that break time to just kind of get myself together, because it was overwhelming.
Let me, Sheree, stand by. We have more questions coming in, but I want to bring on the other panelists as well. Ben, we haven't had a chance to talk about the verdict. This is something you predicted, though.
Well, I don't know. I went back and forth, but it was I have to confess, it was a bit of a surprise to me.
Was it something about Cassie's testimony? Was it something about Jane's testimony with respect to sex trafficking? Again, the jury did not believe the prosecution proved beyond a reasonable doubt that they were victims of sex trafficking. What was it? What was the thing that you might have been a hang up?
I thought it was some of the communications, the text messages, which really suggested more of a relationship rather than coercion. That this is, I think it came across as a very, very complicated, unusual relationship, but a relationship.
Yeah. We got super chat questions coming in for you, Ben. So this is from Nancy Nicole. Actually, this is a regular question. Then we'll go to, actually, let me start with a super chat question. Super chat question from JAM. Thank you so much, Ben. Can law address the need for cognitive consent that has often comprised sex crimes when, I'm not sure what this means, when something's normalized? But yeah, can the law address the need for compromised in sex crimes? I'm not exactly sure the question, but I throw it to you.
No, it's a very good question. And I don't think really this is something that the law can really define. And that's why I think the jury system is really the best way of obtaining the truth when you're talking about complex human emotions. It's really hard to have bright lines in the law. I think it's something that a jury has to consider. And I think this really is the best way to adjudicate these things.
Tyler, Nikki Vale says, do you think if Christina Coram, this is a super chat question, thank you so much. Do you think if Christina Coram testified, the jury would have reached a different verdict?
I think that if she testified as a part of conspiracy, it may have helped the jury get to a conclusion more likely to convict on count number one. But I think as a whole that this jury probably wrestled with the fact that they did not believe this was a conspiracy, a one-man conspiracy with Mr. Combs at the top, and there being no co-conspirators. And then all of the acts and furtherance of this conspiracy led to prostitution, sex trafficking with the two victims. I think they really wrestled and not feel like it was enough. That with KK testifying, possibly it could have helped the prosecution out a little more in convincing the jury.
Ben, got a super chat question from Christina Lester. She writes, I have to know this. Please ask Ben. Is he related to Benjamin Chew, prominent Pennsylvania lawyer and jurist and a close friend of George Washington, 1722 to 1810? The people must know.
You have a wonderful viewership and someone who is very keen on history. Yes, that is my ancestor, who was the last crown appointed chief judge of Pennsylvania. And anybody who is a history buff like your viewer can go see the museum that's in Germantown called Cliveden. And that was Benjamin Chew's house, and it was the site of the Battle of Germantown.
That is awesome. That is amazing. And
Ventura testified about participating in similar encounters, which Combs referred to as freak-offs. Now, I'm stopping again. The problem with this is Jane's testimony needs to be thrown out because she lied, and Cassie told him thank you for honoring her. She was a girlfriend, not really a escort. So, huh? Here we go again. Huh? She was his girlfriend. She would set up the appointments with the dancers. So I'm confused on bringing them into it. Now, maybe if you want to do Punisher and all that. But they've said over and over again that they went on their own free will. So now you got them saying the opposite of what this law says. So it's really weird. So Jane's testimony should be thrown out. Cassie was a girlfriend and not an escort. Let me keep reading. Jane testified she and Combs had hotel nights, maybe May 21st or October 2023, and a variety of local, including Los Angeles, New York, Miami, Turks and Caicos. Similarly, Ventura said freak-offs took place in some of those locations, as well as other cities, such as Atlanta and Vegas. Ventura testified some escorts participated in the freak-offs in multiple states. They were paid between $1,000 and $6,000 afterwards in cash provided by Combs, she said. Her testimony was bolstered by various records presented in court, including flight records, American Express charges, and hotel invoices. The jury also watched sexually explicit footage of Ventura and Jane engaging in X acts with male escorts. The videos lined up with the dates of many flight records and hotel invoices, and the prosecution said the defense argued there wasn't sufficient evidence that the dancers and entertainers were paid for prostitution. Okay, that's another thing. So a loophole in this law, you would say they're not escorts, they're dancers that went across state lines and participated in dancing. What happened after that is their business. That's what most people say for this law, okay? Here, CNN says, what a legal analyst said last week. Trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Maris said that this about the two transportation charges that has been proven by leaps and bounds by prosecutors. It's very simple. Did individuals cross state lines with the intent to engage in prostitution? Maris said about the transportation counts. Now, listen, this is basically prostitution charges, and he's a first-time offender, if you want to look at him that way. I wouldn't send anybody up the river for 20 years for a first offense. Second of all, they could really, what do you call this? Appeal this. They plan to appeal it. They're going to appeal it. So if he does go back, we've got to go through the appeal. It's very important for the appeal because they call this the white slave law. Black people feel that this law is used strictly on us. And if you go back in time, it is. There's a whole list of famous people, including in our leadership, that this law could be charged with. And he happens to be 47. This will start a race war because it says, this is what it means. If you let 47 get away with it, you can go on to be president. But if you're African American, you have to spend time in jail. That's going to be the speech of African Americans, and they're going to be highly upset because 47, the leader of our country, charged with the same thing. So it's a lot. It's really a lot. And I don't think they're going to let him go home. I think the prosecution's ego's hurt. You should have never brought this case to trial to begin with, Miss Comey. You shouldn't have. It wasn't enough evidence. These are state charges. You would have been better off, but you wanted to boast and brag. You wanted everyone to watch. We're just as good as Preet Bharara, and we are known for our 98% conviction rate. You don't have that anymore, and you need to just bow out while you can. But if you guys try to send him up the river, this is going to enrage African Americans, and with just cause. 47 is free. 47 is the leader of the free world, and now Diddy has to go up the river. There's going to be protests. There's going to be pushback from the African Americans. Got to be fair. Why can't Diddy go on and be the leader of the free world? You want him to really sit behind bars 20 years. When one man becomes our leader, another man gets praised. That's Hugh Hefner. These are no different. These are no, you do one, you do us all. So this law is already called the white slave law because it's been known to be used against African American men. So we'll see what's going on. But the judge is very biased. He's a new judge. He doesn't want to piss off the prosecution because he has to work with these people. Also, he was around when 47 came in and fired 46 attorneys. Instead of doing what's right, he wants to fit in. He's a dark man. He's not African American. I don't know what he is, but he probably understands the African American man for flight in this country. He understands it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's very biased. I didn't like him from day one. He's what I call, a kisser. He's an AZZ kisser, and he just wants to be part of the team. But what you don't know, sir, is you will never be part of the team. Never. Listen, everybody, listen. Why would God made you the way you are? Why would I not want to be African American? He doesn't make mistakes. He didn't make a mistake with you either, sir. Don't be ashamed of your dark skin. Let's see what you guys are saying. No less than 20 sounds like you're all for DV, even though you were beat down. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Beat down. Don't know what you mean. No less than 20 years. If they do that, you can wish that. It's going to be appealed and it's going to start a race war. And let me tell you, people don't listen to me and Perry because we're older. I think that's the reason you should listen to us. We've been through this before with the OJ thing. It was so racially divided. It wasn't even funny.
So, basically to respond to that last one, we're not down with DV. Are you down with punishing someone for something they aren't being charged with?
Oh, Harry, those people are upset.
No.
They're hurt.
I know. But
let them go through their feelings.
Don't flip it. We ain't down with DV. But it sounds like you down for, putting somebody in prison for whatever reason you want to.
A lot of people are in their feelings, their emotions. It's an emotional day. Yes, I did cry. I tried not to, but I couldn't believe that I read not guilty. And it just overcame me because we were all set we were going to do the Karen Reed thing. We were going to get people together and we were going to advocate on Diddy's behalf because we didn't want to see him go to life. He needs rehab, not prison. Me and Perry cover a lot of cases on this channel, and there are things that people need to be in prison for. Unaliving your children. That's the next case we're going to pick up. Unaliving your children, unaliving people. There's a guy that just unalived his girlfriend on Facebook. That's the case we're going to do too. Those are life sentences. But sleeping with women and all the freaky stuff in your bedroom is your business. And if anybody thinks that we should allow them to say what we do in our bedroom, you're setting yourself up for failure. This is why I support the LGBTQIA community. What you do in your bedroom is your business. If Diddy was gay, that's his business. We can't do that. We can't be like, okay, y'all, what? You do doggy? 10 years. We can't start doing that.
I don't like the curtains in your living room. Look, that's the whole thing. I mean, people business are their business unless they're harming someone. Their fetishes or their religion and all that stuff is on them. because you don't want nobody dictating what you do in your bedroom, what you do in your kitchen, or how you think.
Yeah.
So, let's keep it right there.
I mean, yeah, what you do, let's not start giving people reasons to lock you up for what you do in your bedroom. But anyway, Mark Agnifilo says that this law is racist and shouldn't be used. So let's see what happens. We're still taking a while. They're waiting. Let's see what CNN says. Oh, so I read that. That was 20 minutes ago. We've been waiting 20 minutes. They're going at it. They're going at it because the prosecutor's embarrassed. That's how they look at it. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I thought we were going to win this case. She didn't even look at Diddy as being a human. He was a status thing to her. If I can get him, one of the richest rappers in the world, not just the after him, you should really go after people because you want a promotion. You want to lock people up because you want a promotion. How sick is that? And you will stop at nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully some good news come out there for real today. Like, they're supposed to be back there going over whether
they call it what it is.
Get some
Negotiating.
bail or not. Huh?
Oh my God.
So what? Oh.
Look on my baby. She's been going through my jewelry. Look. She's been going through my jewelry. We got to babysit, y'all. I'm sorry. She goes through my jewelry. She goes through my wig. She came down the stairs the other day. My wig on. What are you doing, baby? Okay, let us work.
I was wondering why I got quiet. They done ran down to you.
They've been throwing out my hair curlers. What is wrong? Yeah, you stay right there and be real quiet, okay? Oh my goodness. We got our hands full. Anyway, we're still waiting. Let's see what everybody else is saying. I don't listen to Nancy Grace. She's toxic. At any rate, I believe she encourages another blogger. What is she talking about? What's she talking about, Perry?
Oh, the other blogger be on her show.
For what?
Oh, because it's well.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, it's almost like okay.
Child, that's gotta be
get really ridiculous.
Special.
Let me get ridiculous, and then I'm a rest, and you get ridiculous. Then I come back again.
I know they're both. What do they call it? Some theorists, conspiracy theorists. That's crazy. You guys really want this man to get 10 years in prison for a racist Jim Crow law that is rarely even still used in today's world? Future victims, ? There were no past victims. These women consented. They consented because there's no doubt in my mind. What's her name? Jane is still doing freak offs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she had to leave court to go and do one. I got to be out here by Thursday. I got a King's night.
Okay, here we go. Update. Sean Combs' lawyers 6-page letter asking for release today on bail has just been docket. Inner City Press story on it coming. U.S. Attorney's Office letter is not in the docket. Oh, so they're both supposed to be filed. They're probably still tweaking it and probably waiting. They probably took some things that Mark Agnifilo said in his 6-page letter, and they're going to respond to that. And they said before they left that they wanted to keep him locked up because of the substances. Mm-hmm. And he's violent. Now, number one, he has not been charged in a state court for being violent.
Mm-hmm. Hey, babe.
The jury didn't find him violent. What substances are you talking about? Are you still trying to say that he's lacing people's drinks? He's been locked up for at least a year. What are you talking about? It's very sad that this prosecutor will bend over backwards, do anything she has to do, cheat, lie, and steal, so she gets another African-American famous, wealthy man behind bars, and she will stop at nothing. She will stop at nothing. Let this man go home. There's no RICO. Let him go home. Why, if you hardly ever charge a white man with these charges? Like Callie said, this is a Jim Crow law that needs to be pulled out of the law book. It needs to be thrown away. Now, I don't know about you, Miss Comey, but Jim Crow was years ago, and even that's outlawed now. We're allowed to drink wherever water fountain we want to drink from. We're allowed to sit on the bus wherever we want to sit. You trying to take us back there? Oh my God, it's just like I said, racism still exists in the United States. It's just hidden in our laws. They are defunding our schools. They are getting rid of free lunch for children because their parents needed help in the system. Make this make sense. Make it make sense. Cassie should have reported him to the police when it happened instead of cutting a deal. Oh, that's Callie. Thank you, Callie. I just clicked on it, which is another thing. She orchestrated by FaceTime she is not who these people are trying to make her out to be. She's just not. She's just not. She's not a good girl. Cassie is a manipulator, and she's mad at Carisha, and she will say anything against Diddy. So you give this woman $30 million because she's a woman scorned? I would sue her, but that's up to Diddy. See what else you guys are saying. No, they only want to take Black women back. They do. The men get to move forward, and the women have to go back. Puffy was beaten and abusing these women. Puffy, they want to take women back. If we use this law, we will be taking everybody back. Everybody. Some bloggers blaming the jury. Hey, they need to blame Comey and the prosecution. They're going to say he paid off the jury. They're going to say, I can't believe this man is so dangerous. And they're going to say whatever they need to say. But let me tell you, it's not coming from their heart. It's not because they want to Puffy. They really want to see Puffy locked up for a good reason. This is about money for the prosecution. For the bloggers, it's about pride. For the prosecution, it's about pride. They don't want to lose. They're the Southern District of New York. But it all started from ego. She brought this case together from ego. It has nothing to do with what really happened. This should have been a state law for DV, and Diddy will be locked up right now for a very long time. But she wants a freak show. I heard this guy, and I listened to him. He's a white guy talking about how disgusting Diddy was, and how this man needs to be put behind bars, and oh, he's just disgusting. He's done. He's this. He's that. And somebody in the chat said, "Can you name me one Diddy song?" And he couldn't. He couldn't. They don't understand Diddy the way we understand Diddy. They don't know Diddy. You don't know one Diddy song, but you know he should be put away for life? It's crazy. It was personal for us. It wasn't for them. It's very personal for us. Let me go over to Diddy's to 50 Cent. Let's see what 50 Cent talk about, okay? After now that we know what we know, 50 about you and Daphne, if you keep coming for Diddy, you're gonna sound foolish. Leave him alone. He says, let me put him up here. Leave him alone. Stop trolling. Leave him alone. He got your baby mama, but now he don't want her and you don't want her either. Everybody's done with Daphne. She played herself. She got one more month for rent, and then he's gonna put you out too. 50 says, Diddy beat the Rico. That boy a bad man. He likes the gay. He liked the gay John Gotti. Y'all need to stop with the gay stuff now. You're starting to get on my nerve, 50. Because nobody trolled you for impregnating the escort. You impregnated her and tried to clean her up and put her with the rest of us. You tried to clean her up and put her with the rest of us. You knew you met her as an escort. You want to get real? Let's get real. You wifed up the escort, the one that opened your mouth and you can go tinkle twinkle, because she did it too. Listen, they're called porta potty IG models. You know what you got into. You just mad because now we know. Now we know, like, damn, we feel sorry for that little boy. We feel sorry for Sire. Mom sending him to babysit every damn day for days at a time while she freaks off. She knew about substances before she met Diddy. It's no way to make her seem like an angel. That's why I'm saying this case needs to be thrown out. She is tied to Peter Nygaard. You can't put this back in a bottle. It's like toothpaste. It is out. So now you look crazy going after Diddy. Leave him alone. Take your L. Here we go, you guys. Oh, it says after Sean Combs found not guilty. Okay. It's not the judge. They're not even they're in their chambers. They called it something else here. It wasn't chambers, but they're in judges' chambers. All right. Yeah, 50 Cent, leave Diddy alone. We get it now. We understand the animosity and the hatred that y'all had towards each other. But look, she turned out to be bad news for both of y'all. So let it go. Let it go. I understand that's your baby mama. Honey, you got to go sit down, okay? I can't. I love my grandchildren with every fiber of my being. If I can, they won't have to worry about anything for the rest of their lives. I just can't babysit back to back. I need a little break. But mom's at the doctor. Let her do her thing. They stay up late. I don't know what's going on. It's called the robe room. Okay. What else y'all talk about? No, someone tell Rodney the update. The update is found out guilty on all charges except for 2 counts of the Mann Act, which is prostitution across state lines. Diddy wasn't asking for female dancers. I know, it's crazy. He wanted Big Black D as escorts. He also discovered the game as a what? Are you talking about the rapper?
Wow.
What? Let me read. Bunny, you just said so. He discovered the game as a dancer before making him famous. You're talking about Diddy? Because the game worked with 50 Cent. Child, okay, that's what they're saying in the streets. I don't know. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I was reporting to somebody else. This is crazy. It's in the past now. Let it go, 50. Let it go. But 50 Cent still hasn't let Floyd Mayweather go. There's nothing to report now. They're in chambers. Okay, got that.
Yeah,
We're just waiting. Go ahead, Perry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that bottom part. He was saying they still waiting on the
Yeah.
prosecution to dry their eyes and just turn in the damn letter. Like,
Carrie, you're
how
not
many
one of
games-
those I told you so, are you?
no, but how many games do you want to play? Like, they want to act like it wasn't racial or whatnot, but this is gonna, you prolonging this now is gonna make it seem like you very bitter and a little bit racist. Just
Yeah,
get with
because
it.
it's an old law. It
So
happened
they
during
can
Jim
start.
Crow.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm saying just turn in your letter. We know your letter gonna say this. Let the judge balance it out, and we'll see what he's about.
Mm.
But they
This
want to
judge is a
prolong.
pick me. He's
Now
very
they lost.
biased.
We couldn't get him on Rico, but we can make him stay in here for a couple more hours.
Now listen, somebody said Koberger admits to the Idaho unalivings. Dolores, we were all prepared to do the case. Now he gonna take a damn plea? Because I want to know what happened out of his mouth. What happened that night with those college students? Listen, can you imagine? I'm 54. I'm 54 years old. Can I imagine all the life I would have missed out on if I passed away at what, 22, 23?
Yeah.
They were seniors in college.
Damn.
Yeah, this man, I want to know, and I might not ever know what was going on in his mind. That's a shame. We were already, some of the parents are upset, others aren't, because court is a grueling process. This case right here, it actually went by kind of fast. We've been on longer cases. Like, cases are long. Diddy Defense is requesting $1 million bond with his mother co-sign. Give up passports. They are saying he isn't a flight risk. They said that before. Is this new? Let me see. I'm looking, y'all. I don't see nothing new. They should let this man go home. Let him go home. Oh my gosh. Look at how many people are out there. Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
They want to see Diddy.
Whoa. Huh?
They want to see Diddy walk out those doors.
Look how many people are there, you guys. Whoa, New York City. Wow. A lot of people. We'll see. Thank you, T Love. There's so many people, you guys. This is the trial of the century. This is the trial of this era. It still was a little worse. The OJ case was worse. Because, and if you guys remember this, I'm not lying. When they had the people outside, it was racially divided. We had white people over here. We had black people over here.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. Hi, Beatrice. Hope you're feeling better. They probably got some kind of, police presence out there, I would imagine. And that's a big area too. This is a big area. I think everybody covered this case. Do you know anybody that didn't? Everybody covered this case. I hope it just turned out good.
Even the grandbabies talked about it. Everybody.
And so what happened is I'm old enough, and I know you're tired of hearing my old stories. I'm old enough to live through the Rodney King case, where we saw Caucasian men beating Rodney King, who is no longer with us, with a bat. When they said not guilty, this caused the riots. Now, I never heard of any riots in New York. I really haven't. But LA, here we go. He just says, U.S. submits the letter docu-signed by Deontay Nash released. Okay, we don't care. It is a letter also endanger those who cooperate under the subpoena who are already living in fear of retaliation. Listen, we already know who these people are.
And save the bullshit too. You need to go and fix somebody's hair or something. I mean, that is the hairstyle.
No. Listen. This is a letter he wrote on July 2nd. That's today. This is what the hairdresser is writing, you guys. And let me see if I can make it bigger. Hold on. He's got a lot of damn nerve. You know, all them people that lied on Diddy, yeah, I would be scared too. But I don't think he's going to do anything. Y'all aren't worth the spit under a person's thumbnail.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
you know what you did. And now here comes the guilt. Go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, I mean, because he'll be a fool to go and do something if he was just facing the reality suck in that he could have been spending the rest of his life in prison. Why would he go out there and hurt one of these people? Just never give them a job again. Huh?
This is guilt. This is guilt. All right.
This guy. Okay.
Yeah, the hairdresser. Let's go over this. You got a lot of nerve with your lying ass. All right. Can you see this here? Can you read this, or should I zoom in?
I can't. That shit is hard. What?
Is this better?
Maybe bigger than that. You know, I'm blind.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
That's about as big as it could go.
Okay. Well, maybe.
All right, let me read it to you. It says, "Dear Judge Submarinian, I am writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout this proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he poses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the 5 years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability. And each time, this has another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or expose him. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in those around him. I can say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged in the trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with unchecked substance abuse. He's been in jail a whole damn year. Substance abuse makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter society safely or responsibly. But you are, with your same drug habit. Let me keep going. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequence would undermine the integrity of this process and send a danger message that wealth and influence can shield someone. They think they're slick. They have a black man write this letter. Because they're already saying that this is an old law used for black people. And here comes this Uncle Tom right here. He's not scared. He's the one that got paid off. And let me finish this. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequence would undermine the integrity of his process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield someone's infidelity from accountability. It will also endanger those who cooperate with the investigation under the subpoena, who are already living in fear of retaliation. I urge you in the strongest possible terms to prioritize the safety of victims. There's no victims if you are acquitted. If you're found not guilty, what victims are you talking about? Let me keep going. Mr. Combs has countless opportunities to change, and he has chosen to instead to escalate his harmful conduct, allowing him back into the community. How now would be a profound mistake. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to protecting the public from those who repeatedly demonstrate they are unwilling to respect the law. We are respecting the law. I'm telling you right now, if Diddy is not released today, I will personally start a campaign to get this man released, and I will be screaming racism at the top of my lungs. You're going to ask one addict to write a letter to judge another addict. Now, if anybody still has the drug problem, it's your ass.
Mhm.
Been in prison. He's not on substances anymore. He hasn't been charged with anything violent. You cannot put a man in prison because the prosecution's ego is bruised.
Mhm.
You
And now,
cannot, and the letter contradicts itself because they said no RICO, no X trafficking, no substance trafficking. They said they didn't see that. But you want them to punish him anyway as if he was convicted. You better get your Uncle Tom ass out of New York as soon as possible because I don't deal with two-faced druggies like yourself, sir. We know who you are. You was nodding at the damn testimony. You are an addict, a current addict. Who are you to ask the judge to break the law and treat him as if he was guilty? This is a prostitution charge, a first offense.
and then it sounds like
This
he's
man needs
scared.
to go home. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. And we're going to fight against it. I don't stand for racism under any circumstance.
Sound like he nervous. Don't let him out because I'm afraid. Well, look, whatever, dude. I mean, grow up for one. Stop being afraid. And now you somebody counselor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now you want to talk about
You're
somebody else.
supporting racism? What kind of black man does that? A strong, how much they pay you? How much they pay you?
And you
This
had
is
one update
ignorant.
too, Strel.
I don't see it. Let me see here.
It says
Sometime
about probably about 2 minutes ago, maybe on mine. It say update 2.
Sometimes it lags. Can you read it for me?
Yeah, it says update 2. Hearing that after submission just now of bail letters, so it seemed like they got the bail letters from both by Combs and the U.S. attorney. Judge will reconvene with both parties at 5 p.m. in 3 hours. So
They're
everybody
playing their
telling you
games.
like
They're playing their head games.
they so upset, you know, that they didn't get this RICO. You know, you did your best, prosecution. You did your best. You just came up short. You know what I'm saying? Go and learn from your mistakes from this one. Do better next time. But now to be so bitter, you don't want the man to get bail?
Perry, I personally will put on a full-on strategic Karen Reed type of crusade. I really would, because my thing from the very beginning is I don't like the way our justice system treats our black men. I don't like it. It bothers me down to the tip of my toes. To be a black man and support racism, something wrong with you. We know what's wrong with you. You're strung out. You're strung out. All of y'all were addicts. Diddy the only one that ain't part of Puff Puff Give.
Mm-hmm.
One addict is begging for them to break the law because this man has not been charged with being violent. That's a part of those lies that those bloggers told you. That's a part of those lies. You show me a pattern of violence. That was not presented in this case. When they said no RICO, that's what it meant. You can't treat him like he was charged guilty. This is a prostitution charge to a first-time offender. Who sends someone to jail as a first-time offender? Sometimes you get out of court before the paperwork's done. This is all about the prosecutor's ego. She is the worst. Her father's the worst. The Comey family has a strong reputation of not liking your kind. They don't like your kind. This is political. Comey's bitter because he was kicked out his club. 47 don't like you. It is what it is.
Yeah. And Soul Sister is right, right? She said that Diddy might be a monster, but they didn't charge him from that. And she was responding to a couple things in the chat. He's a monster. He's in that. Yeah, he's a black man. He's a lot of things. He's a mogul.
Well, they think you all are monsters. You're a monster too, Perry.
Right. But
You're
the
a
crazy
monster.
part about it, and I would say this: if you got so much evidence that Diddy did all these things that you holding over his head, submit them to the feds so they can charge him on those things. You seem to know a lot about all the bad things he did and sound like you got evidence. So just turn it over to the feds and let them handle it. But until then, can this man get bail, please?
And can we get some other letters from other people? Why don't you go ask victim number 2, Jane, to write a letter?
Now he's starting to wonder, maybe I should have never took the stand. Maybe I should have stayed in the back and did some nails or something.
Someone says Perry is sweet, is cute and sweet, not a monster. Listen, Perry gets treated like a monster on a daily basis. On a daily basis. We have experienced Perry's job is he flips houses. At least on 2 occasions, we lost bids to a home because of the color of our skin.
Yeah.
She asked to see what Perry's net worth was. What? We gonna pay for the house. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
It's experienced every day. We live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and homes go like this because a lot of people from LA and Hawaii are coming over and purchasing houses with cash. So they go really quickly. Even now, with the economy's bad. We experience it. We live in nice neighborhoods. I've always lived in a gated community, and we experience racial purchasing homes on a daily basis. And you can just see it all over their face. People treat Perry like he's a monster because he's a black man with a little bit of cash. Happens every day. And unless you walk in his shoes, you won't understand it. It wasn't meant for you to understand. And it was so weird because we just got rejected a couple months ago from a home that we were overqualified for. It was something we were going to turn into an Airbnb. And if you're not conscious, you don't see the subtleties. Because they said, okay, well, we have to have, so me and Perry put a bid on the house. We were overqualified for the house. It was in a very nice gated community. And they had no idea what we were going to do with the house. It's not their business. I'm buying another house, right? And so they said, can we have a meeting with the broker, the agent, the selling agent, and was the person on the phone that was selling the house? And I said, why do we need, okay, let's have the meeting. So we're in the meeting, telephone meeting. We're all on a conference call. And they say, well, there's a pool in the house. There's a pool in the house. And can you pay extra for the pool? We go, cool. They said the house that has a solar panel loan on them. Can you pay for that? We go, cool. And then the lady says, how did she say that she wanted to look at your bank account?
I was like, hey, so, what's the status? You got everything, the loan approval, everything right in front of you. Well, okay, I'm going to meet back with my clients. And, but I would like if you could just send me a copy of your bank statement today. Like, why would you need my bank statement if you got my loan approval? My loan officer was on the phone. And she still wanted this. Like, this guy, maybe, like, in some cases, you might want to check with a loan officer if you got a particular question. But he said none of that shit she said made sense. To me, nothing made sense. And you want me to give you my personal stuff for what? Know your role. You're a realtor. Now, F you in the house and go and tell your client that.
And he did. And
Yeah.
that's the house stayed on the market an extra month. Perry refused to buy the home. We experience racism on a daily basis.
Somebody
And
said
I don't
something-
expect other races to understand. That's not your flight. That's not your life.
Sherelle, somebody said you got a CNN update. Oh, I think they just said that it's set for 5. Maybe the same thing we just read off the main.
Sean Diddy Combs' bail hearing is scheduled for 5 p.m. according to the district executive's office. Is it that scary, Submarinian? Are you just shaking in your boots? Either I have to lock this man up and face a mob of black people, those people, you know, them over there. He's not African American at all. Or let him go home and be hated by the Southern District of New York. Pick a side.
No, Lisa
just-
said I would go to the real estate board. You know what? Like, yes, I could go through all this, but you know what? If I'm gonna buy your house, I ain't gonna have to fight.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Perry. Now Cassie has written a letter. He needs to sue her back for that $30 million.
Oh yeah, he really do.
F you, Cassie. You ain't none but a 304. You let somebody pee in your mouth and they're treating you like this precious angelic angel, and you were down with it. They're just trying. Listen, prosecution, go get your letters. I mean, defense, go get your letters. Go get your letters. There's a lot of people outside for Team Diddy. Go get your letters. This is insane, absolutely insane that we have to go through this at this day and age. Y'all, he's in a dilemma. He's going to look extremely racist if he sends this man to jail for some old Jim Crow law. When 47 is the president, is the leader of the country, and when he got charged, he's also a felon, and y'all treating it like it's no big deal. Y'all love y'all some Hugh Hefner. Here, what was that? He had his own special substance that he used all the time and handed out like he was candy. Did anybody ever call Hugh Hefner a substance trafficker? Look what we go through. If you are in my chat and you are not African American, look, we are sitting here begging to release a man that just got charges dropped. We're begging to release a man that had the same charges as 47. He was dropped and got to go on and become the leader of the free world. We go through this on a daily basis. Even if you're from England, you don't understand. They say it's not as bad as the US. The US is just filled with that sickness called racism, and it's just going to be that way. I know for a fact till the day I am no longer here. Let me go get the grandbabies really quick.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's the whole deal. Like, I think now, if you want to look at it, I get it. If you believed in the RICO and all that, and most of these people who believed in the RICO, all that, were saying you was following the law. At this point, should they go ahead and give this man a bail hearing and see if he can get out or not? Isn't that part of this justice system thing? Like, I understand you lost. When you go to court, it's going to be a winner, it's going to be a loser. Okay? So why can't this man just go home? Why are we still playing these petty games? Now, I'm telling you, just as a black man, that it's starting to become racial at this point. To me. Just let the man go. I mean,
told you it was
give
gonna become
that
racial.
hearing and either come with something definite, like if the man paying $1 million, if they're proposing $1 million bond, giving up their passports, who gonna flee the country over these minimum charges. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know, I know.
who gonna do that? And then for the hairdresser, who gonna want to come out there and put a hit on you after already facing life imprisonment? Maybe I would never probably give you a job again or be around your ass. But these people now plan,
Karen alert. Karen alert.
oh, well, I think he should go. Look, maybe you should go to rehab and start writing letters, right? Cassie, you said she wrote a letter too? Maybe she needs to go ahead and heal from having a baby, raise a baby, and do everything in her power to keep her man at home. Just do that.
I can't. So wrong with
You know,
Perry.
I am about tired of these people.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a monster. Okay, well, treat him as one, right? Or whatever, right? Like, stop crying about the things he did. If you got so much information, the feds got a phone number, call it.
I love the chat. They're
Yeah.
a mess, okay? Callie, what you gotta say? Oh, hold on. Someone says, I'm sorry, Sherelle, calling you out. UK is just as racist. It is, if not more. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I heard it wasn't, but I've never been there. I have family there, but I've never been there. Cassie is not one who initially got the escort because he told her he had a fantasy. She then talked these men into selling their bodies and walked away with 30 mil. She was never held captive, ever.
No, I don't think she was neither.
Cassie scared for him to get out because she's scared he's going to want another. And she would do it. Cassie really loves Diddy, who names their child after the person you said Arju.
And she's scared because what kind of excuse can I have to have my husband stay at home and watch the babies while I go and get my freak on? Is, you know what? She would do that. And so I'm telling y'all, like I said before, yeah, these women could have wanted Diddy and his status, but they enjoyed getting. They enjoyed it. I want that one over there in the window. Can I get that one with the big dong? No, I want that one there. Can I have two tonight?
Perry, let's end this
Okay,
and come back at 5 because this is crazy. Perry, come to Atlanta. Melon and money is common. We used to live in Atlanta.
Yep, sure did.
I like Atlanta. Atlanta's hot, and Atlanta was overcrowded.
285, that shit, you get stuck on there. Your AC stopped working because you stopped. That's hot.
Yeah, it's really crazy. All right, guys, we're gonna try this again because I gotta watch these grandkids. I'm gonna feed them this time, and let's just hope they go to sleep when it's time to come back. So right now it's 11:15 our time. So what time would that be? They said 5 o'clock their time.
It's 2 o'clock our time, so we got to come back before 2.
Someone says this is it. Why is the prostitution charge a federal offense? It's not. It's not. They're just trying to hold this man because of James and Maureen Comey.
And I think
they don't like us and our kind.
Well, I think they only made that a federal offense because you cross state lines. Yeah. So it would leave this state or whatever, something like that. But the law itself is just bullshit.
All right, y'all. I will come back when they make up their mind. Now, if they do it a third time, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
They stalling. They're gonna wait to 5, and then they want to come with something. Okay, well, let's write some letters to each other, and maybe can we?
They're trying to stall because they're gonna keep them locked up, and they don't want these black people getting mad. That's what's going on, you guys. They're going to keep him locked up. They don't want these darkies getting mad. Let's just go as long as we can, and maybe the crowds will fizzle out because people have jobs, people have stuff to do. Shame on you, Judge Submarinian. You are the worst. We will start our own because we're going to start our own Free Diddy movement. We're going to unite like they did for the Karen Reed case. We're going to show our presence. So we might have to go to New York because I can't sit back and allow this to happen and not say anything.
What's up, Josh?
This is just too much. I will, my two favorite journalists right here. You guys hit that like button. Thank you, Josh. I will start my own movement. You should not go to prison on a prostitution charge as a first-time offender because someone's ego can't take it. You lost fair and square. You tried every trick in the book. It did not work. All right, y'all. So let me go take care of these kids. And then, yes, free Diddy. Free Diddy. We're on a movement. Free Diddy.
Real.
Oh, I'm so scared. This is what they're really asking. Can you keep him locked up, even though he doesn't have any charges that allows him to be locked up because he's black and scary?
Book him, Dano.
This is what they're asking.
Don't let that ninja out.
Because I'm scared of him. He doesn't have a record of being violent. But look what he did to Cassie. She was out of her mind too. Did you ever ask what was in the bag and why he wanted the bag back? Can you ask Cassie why she went back if he's so violent? Can you ask Jane that? Jane probably will get back to you a little later. She probably had a Kanye freak off right now. She's just a straight out escort.
So anyway, my poll too before we go. I said, will Diddy be home for the 4th? 64% says yes, 36 no.
Let's see, y'all. I don't trust them. When you don't like us, that's just what it is. And they will do any and everything. You are breaking the law. You are asking him to stay locked up, although there's no charges for him to be locked up for because you're so-called scared. Cassie, you are the worst. You already got $30 million. What more do you want? You're the worst. Girl, go have Alex pee in your mouth, okay? You're nasty. She's nasty. She's nasty. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later.
Yep. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Well, there you have it. We got to wait till 5 o'clock. Oh my God. Will he be home for Thanksgiving? Will he be home for 4th of July or not? I don't know. I'm thinking so though. At least on bail anyways. Do we go back for sentencing? But I gotta go too. So we'll be back at 5 to find out. All righty. All the breaking news on the Diddy. You guys have a great afternoon. Bye.